All right, guys, it's Locked On Falcons postcast. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Freeman, the host of Locked On Falcons, joined by Jarvis Davis, one of the co-hosts of the ATL Day Ones podcast, guys. And the Falcons, after a couple of rough weeks of football, finally get that W that they desperately needed. As usual, with every Falcons game, it's a nail biter down to the final minutes, but the Falcons defense closes it out. Jaylinn Hawkins getting an interception off of deflection on a missed throw by Justin Fields in the final minutes. The Falcons kneel down and get their win. 27-24, I think was the final
27-24, yeah.
score. And, Jarvis, kick us off. What stood out to you in this game?
It got to be the defense, man. When you talking about the Falcons, the team that wears red and black on Sundays in Atlanta at 1:00, usually at 1:00 on Sundays, having 4 sacks, like really putting the quarterback in a situation where you're like, dang, you almost felt sorry for him for a little bit, because those are something like you start seeing the stunts and starting to twist. I saw Lorenzo Carter by the quarterback. Arne Ebiketie gets another sack today. I think that those are some of the things that obviously have to stand out. And then obviously getting the special teams. Those kind of things, those two things kind of go right hand in hand, right? Defense, special teams. They always kind of put those guys in the same category or same group. And when you get that touchdown, a kickoff return by Cordarrelle Patterson obviously was a big thing going into the half. That was a big booster for the Falcons to get that touchdown return going into the half. Obviously breaks the record for most touchdown kickoff returns in league history. I saw you tweet out. Now, did you really mean that, or you were just being Aaron, typical Aaron, a petty Aaron?
I'll never tell Jarvis, but I meant it with Patterson. He's obviously, now that he holds the record, obviously, is the greatest kickoff returner in NFL history. And,
right.
I think Devin Hester deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for being the greatest punt returner in NFL history. So I think the same qualifies for Patterson. I agree with you. They needed that special teams touchdown. I was hoping to see the Falcons offense get a 30-burger today. They didn't quite get that, given that special teams touchdown. But that really helped them out. And you're right, with the defense getting 4 sacks. I'll be curious to go back and watch the film. It seemed like on a number of those, the Falcons or Justin Fields was able to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, allow that pass rush to get home. And part of you got to think that A.J. Terrell being back on the field allowed for Justin Fields to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, because those receivers were not getting as open down the field as we've seen the last couple of weeks against some of the Falcons backup secondary players. So all in all, a solid day for the Falcons. The running game was working. They weren't able to really move the chains on third down. Marcus Mariota led the team with 13 carries on the ground, but Patterson and Tyler Algier, I thought Algier ran really hard in this game. It seemed like he was breaking a ton of tackles, even on like 3-yard gains. He was breaking like 4 or 5 tackles in this game. And I think, giving the defense some more credit. I know Justin Fields had 85 yards rushing, but compared to the last couple of weeks when he's averaging like, I think 150 the last 2 games, that's a huge improvement. So I think we're going to hear Dean Pease crowing again this week on the press conference, being like, hey, we gave up 85 yards, but we sacked them 4 times. And that's way better than what some of these other arguably better defenses like Miami a couple of weeks ago allowed Justin Fields to have.
And that's the thing, right? We talking about, I think, like 300 some odd yards in 2 games. So you hold him to 85 yards, a guy who a team they're gonna have design runs, and they're gonna, when there's pressure, he's gonna take off running. And then you saw towards the game, you kind of tell he was kind of ailing a little bit, because he was looking to throw the football. Seemed like he wasn't interested in running the football at all from a scrambling standpoint. But I think that you have to give Dean Pease credit today, and I think, like, I'm with you. Like A.J. Terrell, I think that was a big reason why you had a little bit more time to get home, so to speak, up front, and you saw that from time and time again when the Falcons defense had them in second and long, and they were able to get that stop on second down, so it could be third and long. Most of the time, they were able to get home, or at least get some pressure to maybe force a bad throw, or you had guys like Michael Walker knocking down passes and everything. It was just an all-around good effort defensively today. I think that when you have a team coming in averaging 30 points a game consistently, and you hold those guys to 24 points, hey, I look at that as a dub for me.
Definitely. Troy Anderson made a couple of nice open field tackles on Justin Fields, helped keep him contained a little bit. But Jarvis, we got to talk about the guy, right? Marcus
Who?
Mariota. We
Huh?
got to talk about him every single week on this
We did?
postcast, Jarvis.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
I do want to get your thoughts on Marcus Mariota's play as we continue today's postcast.
To be
But
honest with you,
go ahead.
no. I just think that, to be honest with you, when you look at what he was able to do today, I think that John Chuckery has earmarked a number of passes that he doesn't want Marcus Mariota to go over. Guess how many passes Marcus Mariota threw today? 20. So that number is 20 passes. If he doesn't throw the football over 20 times, more than likely the Falcons have a good chance of winning the football game. Now, that could be both positive and negative. Now, they obviously was able to, run the football effectively as a runner and as a team. And he able to take advantage of some passes from here and there. He was able to make some decent passes. So I think overall he had a solid game. He still kind of had some longer passes, some deep shots they tried to take downfield. They still kind of went into the crowd in the stands and didn't necessarily were near the wide receiver. But hey, Drake London was able to get a touchdown. So those are some of the things that you got to be able to appreciate, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought that last pass he had Olamide Zaccheaus towards the end that would have been a big time conversion. I thought that was on the mark. Just Zaccheaus lost it. So we got one accurate Marcus Mariota pass in this game. So that's big improvement from some of the previous games. So we'll take what we can get. I think Arthur Smith's probably going to be thumping his chest a little bit at that post game press conference, talking about, see, I told you so. Everybody was all negative. Everybody was panicking after the loss. Marcus did his thing. He managed the game. He played a clean game. That's all the stuff that we've been talking about Marcus having in this game. Not a perfect game by any means, but certainly good enough for the Falcons to win this game. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum going. They got another very winnable game coming up here against the Commanders next week, I believe on the road, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe that. Yeah, on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if they can keep it going. But Jarvis, before we duck out of here, any other sort of game balls or tidbits you want to throw out there from what you saw today?
Now, I'm the type of guy that I always, especially when it comes to guys up front, I don't mind calling guys out. You know what I mean? And I think that I've done Lorenzo Carter. I've thrown his name out there quite a bit when it comes to, hey man, you need to play a little bit better. And I think that we saw that today. Now, he could have had a couple more sacks, maybe a sack or two, if he would have made the tackle. But hey, he was getting home, he was getting that pressure, and Justin Fields definitely is going to remember number 9 and number 97 and number 47. So I think that I am pleased by Lorenzo Carter's play today, and also on Ebiketie, the more that dude plays, the more he's going to. I think he's going to start putting more pressure on the quarterback. And I think that Dean Pease, man, I got to give him a game ball overall, because when you talk about what this offense was doing coming into this game and how Justin Fields just setting the league on fire, just from a offensive output standpoint, and to, like you said, to walk away with only 24 points and less than 100 yards rushing. That is a win, and a win. But yeah, kudos to Dean Pease and company today, because they won this game today. I give them that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have you guys covered all week long here on Locked On Falcons, Locked On Sports Atlanta. The one couple of injury notes, we'll tidbits. We'll see if we get some updates on Taquan Graham later this week. He got carted off in this game with a leg injury.
That one doesn't look good. Yeah,
did not look good. They downgraded him to out during the game. That's usually not a promising sign. So we'll hopefully get a positive update on that, later this week. Also, Kyle Pitts exited the game having taken a shot to the knee as well. Didn't look as serious, but probably a little bit of a hyperextension. So you're hoping it was more precautionary with him. But obviously, those are two significant blows for this football team if those guys are out for an extended period of time. But we'll have you covered all week long here on Locked On Falcons, Locked On Sports Atlanta. I know Jarvis probably has some thoughts on Stequavius's performance from over the weekend with the Georgia Bulldogs, as Locked On Sports Atlanta has you covered not only just with the Falcons, but all the local sports teams, including the Bulldogs and the Hawks. And I'm sure the Braves are up to something as well this offseason. But got Jarvis, any last thoughts before we duck out of here?
Yeah, man, just check us out all week on Locked On Sports Atlanta. It'll be ATL Day Ones, Hitting Hard with John Chuckery, A to Z with Mark Zeno. We got you all covered with Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Tech beat a ranked team.
Georgia Tech. Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
okay. We're
hey, man,
going deep.
he's trying to get a job, man. So
coverage now.
Yeah,
okay,
we'll be talking about all that this week. So yeah, make sure you guys check us out. Also, we'll be doing the ATL Hangout on Friday, right after Thanksgiving. So we'll to wrap the week up. So yeah, make sure you guys check us out and follow us on Twitter at LockedOnATL.
Absolutely. And guys, I'll have you covered all week long on Locked On Falcons as well, giving you my thoughts on this game, watching the film, all that and more while you guys chow down this week for Thanksgiving.